Hey, welcome back to the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge, and today we have the Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild. You have to say it in that exact order. It's not Ice Age colon Adventures of Buck Wild. No, it's the Ice Age Adventures of Buck Wild. That said, this movie isn't particularly focused on Buck Wild at all. Played by Simon Pegg, a guy whose movies, anything he does, I pretty much go see. But this is not an Ice Age, your standard Ice Age movie. And pretty much none of the cast is back. None. Except for Simon Pegg, still playing Buck Wild. No Ray Romano, no Queen Latifah, no Dennis Leary, no John Leguizamo. It's honestly, it's Crash and Eddie, and their actors are not even in this. So yeah, it's a bunch of people who sound really. If you didn't know any different, you'd think, well, maybe they just sound a little off. It's literally different actors playing all of those characters. Yeah, Crash and Eddie. Seriously, yeah. You get what this is. And it barely features the main cast from Ice Age. They kind of act as a bracketing kind of element to this. They're there at the beginning and they're there at the end. But this is Crash and Eddie looking to break out on their own and doing their own thing. So this is really a Crash and Eddie movie, and I guess they couldn't since they those actors. I think it's who was it? I can't remember. He was from American Pie. My brain's just not working right now. But Sean William Scott was one of them. The fact that nobody is in this movie from a previous movie except for Simon Pegg, they had to make it a movie featuring Simon Pegg's character in the title. If it was a Crash and Eddie movie, I don't know if anybody would really care as much. I mean, yeah, people like them. They're two possums, siblings to Ellie. Uh, but yeah, I don't know if that'd be like, oh, I mean, Buck Wild is a pretty popular character because he added a new crazy element to the group when he first premiered, I don't know how many years ago. And he's popped up here and there over time. But this is a Disney Plus original. This is not made from at 20th Century Fox and I think was it Sky Blue or something like that uh, production. The animation is honestly just a few steps above video game cutscene. It's there's a lot of drop frames. It's very lean, and I understand there's a budget. There's a budget you got to keep to, and that's understandable. I mean, it's not that it's bad animation at all. It's just not as good as you would expect from those films, as you've seen in those films. Watch one of those films, the features, the ones that came out in theaters, and then jump right to this, and you will see the difference. You will absolutely see the difference, even if you're not like a person who cares about that kind of thing. You will see a change. I mean, this is like the high end of Saturday morning cartoon digital animation. So yeah, there's a lot of shortcuts taken in the movement, whether it comes to mouth movement or just moving through a scene. It's there's times where it almost feels like stop motion animation. That's how much they cut back, and even the depth of the backgrounds, the scenes, the color, the depth, the textures are all in my head. They're just not as good. Even on the character textures, not even as good. And we get to see a lot of Crash and Eddie in this. And, they got fur, and it's just yeah, it's not as good. It's not as good. And of course, like I said, since we don't have the original cast back, I can understand why they wouldn't come back. I mean, they're barely in this. I mean, maybe the first 15 minutes is Manny, Diego, Sid, and Ellie, and that's them before Crash and Eddie take off, and they head to the Lost World, or they find themselves at the Lost World. I don't think they're bright enough to actually figure that out on their own to get there, but they end up there, and of course they run into Buck Wild, who has problems of his own, and he takes them under his wing for a bit as he kind of gets them to help him out in battling a new villain, a dinosaur villain who can talk, and is looking to exclude everybody except dinosaurs from the Lost World. I guess. I kind of spaced out on some of that. But they, some other old friends you see along the way will join the fight. And we see a new friend called Z, female. I can't remember what they are. I forgot the name, but they're like a skunk, but with a longer tail. And yeah, so yeah, we get to see it's a brand new character. I'm trying to figure out. I just saw her just now on the slideshow thing here, and I'm trying to think of who she looks like. Cartoon wise, but I can't think of it offhand. It's all right. If you're a big Ice Age fan, you're gonna of course want to watch this, but you're gonna might be a little disappointed. I don't know. I mean, it's gonna be like you want to see Buck Wild if you're watching this, really, because it's touted as a Buck Wild story, but really everything is centered around Crash and Eddie. And Buck Wild has his moments. Of course, he's the most charismatic character out of all of them, and it's fun to watch him just go nuts and talk to his hand and whatever else. So yeah, it's all right. It's not. The Ice Age films are good. They're not my favorite films, but they're fairly predictable. And this is not exactly wowzers. It's all right. But if you have no interest in ever seeing another Ice Age thing, this is not going to change your mind. It's not going to make you go, oh, you know what? I'm going to give it another chance. No, it's not going to be that. And even though there's a reference to Buck Wild creating a superhero team, even that reference is not enough to make you go, oh, maybe that'd be cool. It's a funny bit, barely, but I wish I could say more good things about it. It looks like it could have been a really good time, but I think it was just sort of Disney cashing in and going, we have this property, we should make more content with this, and let's do it. And they did. And they just weren't going to spend the money on that cast. They just weren't. And it's good they got Simon Pegg, because Simon Pegg, again, it's the next one they make of this, who knows, Simon Pegg might not be the voice of him, and it would be a whole new cast completely, and they could probably make a series of shorts or whatever featuring Buck Wild, and it'll be a guy who sounds like Simon Pegg. So, which would be sad. But I took this off the thing, and I don't need to do a random search, because tomorrow I've chosen what we're going to watch tomorrow, and you know what it's going to be, because whenever there's a new Marvel or Star Wars thing out, I'm going to watch it, so I might as well make it the new selection for the day. And tomorrow, starting at midnight, we have Werewolf by Night. So yeah, when the moon rises, Werewolf by Night comes out, and we're going to see what is touted to be technically, well, not counting the Multiverse of Madness, Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, this is going to be kind of the first crazy big horror thing out of Marvel. And like this, it's got a lot of classic horror elements in it. There's vampires, there's werewolves, there's Man-Thing. You don't know what Man-Thing is? Well, you're going to find out. And it's like a swamp creature, or a swamp thing created by the same guy. Anyway, we should, that's what we're going to watch tomorrow. So yeah, we're watching Werewolf by Night, and I'll see you back here tomorrow with my thoughts on that. Bye. On the Disney Plus Everyday Challenge. I gotta say that. Bye.